guys, it's me, Larry. I know it's been a long time no see, but I'm back with another sort of talking face video. I've done a lot of travel vlogs recently with going to America. Well, not so recently now. That was back in August, September last year, and now it's the end of April. But we get one thing at a time, guys, one thing at a time. I wanted to show you all my new PC. Yes, it's a little bit bright on the camera at the moment, so I'll insert some clips and b-roll of the actual PC in the video, because it is a little bit bright because I've got the light on and the colors and like the lighting in the PC is very bright and it's white. So yeah, so I wanted to build a new PC. There was kind of nothing wrong with my old one, really. The only thing that really made me bite the bullet was the Adobe Premiere Pro software that I use for my videos, to edit my videos and put them up on YouTube. I don't know whether it was the new updates with Adobe, the new like software and the new format, like the hardware it required was way more than what my PC had. So I was getting like all these weird like errors, these crashes, I troubleshooted and did all this stuff, but nothing really helped as such. It was just like, it was so hard to explain. Anyway, so I got onto Adobe support, and they told me basically it was my computer, it was my hardware failing. I needed to get a new computer. So I thought, right, well, great. I don't really have X amount of dollars for a new computer. I mean, I was wanting to build a new one anyway, because I love building computers. They're so fun. I just really wanted a new computer, like really badly. I really wanted to build a new computer. So it was kind of my push to build a new computer, because I was probably going to build one towards the end of this year anyway. So it was like I couldn't do anything with the program. Like I couldn't put out any more YouTube videos, and I knew we were going to America, so I knew I needed, a computer like when I got back to put together the footage, because like I couldn't do anything with the footage until I got a new computer. So I had all my PC parts in a wish list, and I learnt a lot from building a PC last time. Like I was just watching YouTube videos, and I watch them for fun, not necessarily like I obviously learn things as I go, but I love watching like Jay's 2 Cents, PC Centric, a whole bunch of other ones. So they're my two go-tos that I love watching. I just love the energy of PC Centric, and I love Jay's 2 Cents. Like him and his crew are very knowledgeable. So it's PC Centric, but I just love how he puts together PCs and his energy in the videos. It just, yeah. So got me all excited to build a new computer, and like I said, I've obviously learnt a lot since building my last one. So I bought my parts, or I got my parts over a couple of months. So I first bought a couple of things myself, and then my fiance, now I got the ring, my fiance Cameron was very, very lovely to me this Christmas, and he surprised me with buying the remainder of my PC stuff. I knew I was going to get some stuff, but he went above and beyond and got it all for me, because he said it's not going to be much fun when you're off on your Christmas break and you're wanting to build your computer and play games and you're missing a couple of parts and you've got to wait. So he said, now you can build it all. And it was just like, he got me all this other stuff, and then I unwrapped it all and all that, and then it was just the CPU left. And he, like, once I was finished up unwrapping the presents, he went into the room, came back out with another present. I'm like, oh my God, is this the actual, like, I was so stoked, because I had an extra week off over Christmas, which was really nice. So I knew I wanted to build my PC, play games on it, and just enjoy myself. So I'm so thankful to Cameron for doing that for me. Thank you, baby. I love you. So my PC cost me all up, it cost me and Cameron all up, because Cameron bought a lot of the parts for myself. It wasn't cheap. It was $6,200 thereabouts all up. And that is because the main part of the computer, which is the GPU, which is this big long thing here, which is your graphics card, which runs your games high, and a really good graphics card is going to be very expensive, unfortunately. So the graphics card alone was $2,200. Yeah, so that's what bumps the price up, and the CPU was nearly $1,000. I think it was like $900 and something at the time. It's dropped. A few things have dropped down in price now. I can't tell you exact prices of what I got, but I might be able to try and tell you as we're going. And the motherboard was, you know, like $700 as well. So for the major parts, it was very expensive, which is what bumps it up. Keeping in mind also, I've refurbished like my monitor, my second monitor, my keyboard, my mouse, my headset, all that sort of stuff, and my speakers. So I've refurbished what I was using on my new PC. It's literally just like all this box here. What you see in this box is the PC, and that's what I bought essentially. It seems like a lot because people are like, oh, you could just go buy a PlayStation or an Xbox for like $900 max, and it's just like, yeah, but there's so many, like, it's the camp of PC Master Race versus consoles. Like, we've got a console, we've got a PlayStation 5, we've got an Asus ROG Ally in the back for traveling. Like, it's really good. And there is such good things about, like, the PlayStation. We love, like, the exclusives, like The Last of Us, but a lot of games are coming to PC now, which is really good, as much as they're, like, a year wait delay from the initial release. A lot of it's coming to PC, and for me, who makes videos, you know, work, all this sort of stuff, like a PC is just, you know, and unfortunately to have an awesome PC, you've unfortunately got to spend big. So, and this will last me, like my last one, which Cameron now has, is a hand-me-down. It was nothing wrong with it. Played games totally fine. It was just the fact the Adobe program that I used was like, yeah, no, you're going to need some more stuff. So there's nothing wrong with my R1. Cameron's got my R1 now, so, you know, he's happy because he had like I don't even know, like a 3 gigabyte graphics card, and now he's got mine, which is an 8 gigabyte graphics card, so he's doing much better. So there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just so stoked that I was able to get a new computer because I knew I was going to do it anyway. This is going to last me 5 years. That my R1 lasted me 5 years, so I'm going to get at least 5 good years out of this PC, and it's an investment. It's not just for play, it's for work, my videos, everything. So I'm super stoked, and I'll show you the parts now, one by one, of what is in my PC.
Just like a spark that's breaking out, can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night, coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up, babe. Tonight we gonna light it up. Just
Oh my god! Oh lord.
Everything is looking operational except for CPU.
CPU
RGB.
No. The RGB on the bracket's not on, but that's least of my concern.
That he's looking very uncomfortable. She looks tense. You know what I mean? She looks tense. She looks like
Take a
shot
while.
me in this body.
Oh my god, that wasn't right. The RGB's on the bracket.
CPU's coming along. Screen.
Screen. Yes! Oh my god, everything on! Everything! Everything's on! Yes, the very first thing I ever bought for my PC, my new PC, was the PSU, which is the power supply unit. So this is what powers your PC, essentially. I got the Thermaltake Tough Power GF3 Snow, the 1200 watt 80 plus gold fully modular power supply. So the fully modular is to do with the new graphics card. So it comes with the 12 watt power connector, and it means like you can, a lot of the power supplies are pre-plugged, like they've got cords pre-plugged into them, where these ones the plugs come with it and you plug it into where you need the plugs to go, essentially. With a power supply unit, you need to make sure you get the correct wattage. So I did a lot of research into how many watts I would need. You know, each part in your computer takes up a certain amount of power. So the GPU and the CPU would obviously take up a lot of power. Combined with all the other stuff going on in your PC, you need enough to get it, like to have what the power is hitting, and then you also need to have a little bit of wiggle room extra, because, you know, power surges and boosts, and like if you're overclocking your PC as well, that bumps up the wattage as well. I knew I needed to get a pretty beefy power supply unit. I read some reviews and a lot of people said that 1000 watt would be enough, but I really wanted to just make sure I was completely safe, so I got the 1200. It wasn't too bad in price. I think it was 300 something down to 270, I think, which is, I mean, it's not great, but I got it on special, so I justified it. And it was white, even though because I was doing an all white build, as much as you can't see the power supply unit because it's in behind the motherboard in the case in the back, because it's a dual chamber, and just thought, oh well, it's a white, it was on special. I'm like, well, it's white anyway, so I'll get it. So the motherboard that I got is the Aorus Z790 Pro X gaming motherboard. It's for 13th gen and 14th gen Intel processors, which what mine is, a 14th gen 14900K. These came out in the 13th gen lot. So when my fiance bought the parts, which he also bought this, so thank you, he made sure, because I asked him to get the PC case gear, which we bought a lot of stuff off, do the BIOS update for you for $30. So I made sure he got that as well, so when we turned on the computer, there wasn't any issues with the CPU. Like, it was, the BIOS was updated for the 14th generation CPU. So I got this one because I was getting the 14900K. So a K is for overclocking, and this is a K, an overclocking motherboard essentially. You can put like a 14900 in there, that's fine, but if you're going to get a K CPU, whether it be 14900K, 13900K, 10900K, like generations before, whatever it is with the K, you need to make sure you get a K SKU motherboard. There were a few other white ones. Obviously it's in my computer right now, so I can't show you. I'll show you close-ups, but this was a pure white motherboard, meaning as much as the hardware on it was white, a lot of motherboards that have a white motherboards, they're white, but the hardware is actually black, like the back of it is black, like the base of it is black. A lot of the different like nodules and different pieces on it are black. This one is a true white motherboard, which I absolutely love, because as much as you can't see a lot of it because the parts obviously are connected to it and take up a lot of space on it, I just wanted it to be all white, and it was perfect. It was so perfect. And then we'll just go with this next because like it kind of makes sense too, I suppose. This goes in the box, but the CPU that I got is the Intel 14900K, and it says unlocked there, so the K means unlocked, which means you can overclock it if you want to. I'm pretty sure out of the box it comes boosted a little bit, but you can overclock it more if you wish. And I just really liked the case that it came in. Like, I know it's very reflective and all that. So that's the CPU I got. I read a whole different bunch of stuff on it. I was going to get the 13900KS because everyone's like hating on the 14th gen because it's not really much of a boost from the 13900KS. However, when you're like me, starting from scratch from someone that had, I think my old one was at 8700K. So like not even on the 99 spectrum, it was i7. Someone that's coming from a brand new build, like why would you not get the 14th gen over the 13900KS? Like I think the benchmarks were exactly the same, and the 14900K was better, and the 13900KS obviously last generation, but it was actually more expensive than the 14900K. But the 14900K performed better. So I was like, well, I'm going to get that. And it's the newest generation, so why not? The Intel 14900K is a 6 gigahertz clock max speed. So that's max. So I think at the moment out of the box, I think it's like 5.7 gigahertz from memory. And then you can boost clock it to 6 gigabytes. 6 gigahertz. It's 24 core, 32 thread CPU. So with the number of threads or cores, there's 16 performance cores and 16 efficiency cores. So the performance cores is what is your performance of your CPU, basically, your performance, where the efficiency cores is a lot more of the background tasks. So if you're playing a game and streaming or watching YouTube or Netflix or whatever, it's the efficiency cores that allow you to do those background tasks with ease without having your system like, lock up and freak out because it can't handle it. So it's good that it's got those, that it's got both of those. So like for me, when I'm doing Adobe, I have a lot of things going on in the background. So it's good to have like, the efficiency cores to sort of balance it out. So let's talk about storage now. So I got these two M.2 SSDs, which go directly into your motherboard, like they insert into the M.2 drives on your motherboard. Mechanical hard drives are becoming faded out because they're not as a fast, as reading, like it's the read and write speeds of programs and games to load. And like when you're copying a file from your desktop to a USB or something, and it takes so long. If you're copying a file, you can always tell, oh my gosh, it's taking so long to copy. You need something that's going to have fast read and write speed. So I went with two M.2 SSDs because they're the best at the moment. There is Gen 4 or Gen 5, I can't quite remember. But these are the generation down, only because the new ones hadn't come out at the time and they were extremely expensive for not much gigabytes. So I just went with these, and they're like, there's nothing wrong with these. So my initial one I got is the Samsung 980 Pro PCIe 4 M.2 SSD, and it's 2 gigabyte. My God, we're like back in the early 2000s. 2 terabyte. So 2 terabyte. So this is what my OS is on, my operating system, which is Windows. Plus I have quite a few games saved on here. And this is what I sort of do a lot of my desktop work on, like programs are saved to this SSD. I have some games on there as well. But initially, this is like my operating system SSD. This is what the initial one is. So this SSD has a read and write speed of up to 7,000 to 5,100 megabits a second. So the read speed is 7,000, the write speed is 5,100 megabytes a second. So very quick. I think the other ones, or like my older SSDs, are like with 3,000 or something like that. So quite a big difference. Copying files takes obviously still some time, especially if it's a big one. But I've noticed it's so much quicker and better. And then the second one that I've also got on my motherboard is the MSI Spatium M461, and again it's a 4.0 generation M.2 SSD drive. So this one is 4 terabyte. So this is what basically a few of my games are on, like my bigger games, but also what all my work is on and all my photos and videos. So all of the stuff that I do for YouTube is on this SSD. So this one is 5,000 with read and 4,200 megabytes a second write, which is still really good. And like I haven't had any complaints with games being on this and like loading or anything like that. I haven't noticed any difference. So moving on to RAM.
Memory is RAM.
The memory RAM that I got is the T-Force Delta DDR5 memory. They're 2 sticks of 16 gigabytes each at 6,000 megahertz, so a total of 64 gigabytes. I noticed I was only going to get like a total of 32, but my old computer has a total of 32, and a few times my Adobe was spiking above 30 gigabytes using the RAM. So I was like, oh my gosh, I need to like up it a bit. I got these ones. They've got a black and white in the package, but I obviously got the white one. I loved these because they were white. They were really pretty. I was going to get the G-Skill Trident Z Royal sticks because I had the DDR4 in my old system, but they still haven't come out with it. They announced at one of the gaming conferences like a year ago, and they haven't said anything since. And it's just like, I'm not going to wait for you to do that. So I'm happier with these ones actually. They go with my system more. I really like the way they're sort of angled, like where they go spiky. They're really pretty lighting in them. They're really good sticks of RAM. They're exactly what I need. 64 gigabytes is it's exactly what I need for my video editing and gaming. So the case that I got was the NZXT H6 Flow RGB edition. It's the ATX mid-tower case in white. So this is it came with 3 fans installed already. You can see sort of along the angled side here, there's 3 fans already installed in the PC. I really liked that, and I really like, so I was so tossing up between cases. I really wanted to get the height Y60 or the Y70 that came out, because it was like sort of like a angled fish tank. I mean, you guys have all, all the gaming people have seen it. It looks like a sort of a fish tank glass with the angled glass on the side here. I really loved it, but over time, I just sort of was like, I really want to see fans on the bottom, because there's like a bottom chamber where you don't see the fans. I'm like, I really want to see the fans. So, and then this came out and I really liked it because it was the reverse version of the height Y60, where the fans, like it's angled on the back, if that makes sense. So you can see a video of it when I put it in, but it's sort of angled at the back, which really, I don't know, it just gave me a different spin on it. I really, really liked it. This case was the bane of my existence at one point. Poor Cam had to get the little angle grinder out because, again, you need to look at the specs before you buy things. But in saying that, I just trusted what the specs said. I didn't really think about anything further, because I'll get into that in a little minute. But we had to do a little bit of modifications, and I'll show you why. I didn't like the cable management of the fans pre-built into the case. That was a big no-no. They should have done something better with that. That was a whole mess. Don't even get me started on my cable management. We just chucked it in the back and did the backup, and now hopefully I won't have to touch it ever again. But there's a lot of room in the case. Like, it's very small, but it is very roomy at the same time, and it makes it look really neat. There's a lot of room to put your cables in the back, and it was quite easy to build in. I will say that. So I really do like the case. The airflow is amazing. Like, my temperatures are so good in my PC. I don't get any crazy temperatures. Like, the airflow in this case is really, really good. So the fan that I got for the rear exhaust fan is the Leon Lee Unifan SL Infinity 120. So it's the size 120. 120 fits perfectly on the back. It's just one fan that goes on the back and acts as an exhaust fan. I really loved the look of these fans, the way they were had the infinity like mirror in the middle with the RGB around it on the edges and on the face of the fan as well, like the face of the case. I just really, really liked it. And then in saying that, on the bottom, so in the rear of the case, there's a little cutout for your bottom fans to go, which is the intake fans to come up into the GPU to cool that down a lot more. So I got two fans for the bottom of the PC. They're both 140 fans, so the same fans, the Unifan SL Iron F140. I really like Leon Lee's way of connecting the fan. So it's with one cable, so the fans click together. So the cable it'll only be one cable coming out of the fan, if that makes sense. So, two cables, one for the fan itself and then one for the RGB. So no matter how many fans you connect together, 3, 4, whatever, it'll always be the two cables coming off the end because they're clicked together, like connect together, which is the best idea ever. So there was an issue with this. So I didn't realize, like, obviously the case said 140mm fans at the bottom, right? Or two 140mm fans at the bottom, because you can't put two 120s, like the cutout, and the holes where the fans screw in is exactly the dimensions for the 140 fans. So I got the 140s, not even thinking about the connecting mechanism, because off the side of the fan there's a little it's a flat clip which houses the two cables, and they sort of sit flat and then come off the side. I didn't even give that a thought, and unfortunately NZXT didn't give you a couple mil wiggle room for that, but it was just like one of those things where it's like, oh my god, it was. And we were up until 2 a.m. building this thing. Like, it was a couple of days here and there. It was a day here and there building, and then the next day we stayed up to like 2 a.m. building. So it was like 1 a.m. in the morning, and it was like the fans weren't fitting, and it was just like, oh my god, what are we going to do? And like, worst case scenario, I could have put one in, but it was just like, we just want to get it done. So Cameron had this brilliant idea to get his little angle grinder out. And we'd already installed the motherboard, so we did a dodgy and put a towel over it. So when we angle grinded it, we didn't get any metal shavings or pieces into the sockets of the motherboard. Very dodgy stuff. Where they've cut into the case, to have that little crevice to put your fans in. If they didn't have the metal, like when they cut it, metal bend down, if they just remove that completely, had it flush, like, you know, not coarse, so you cut your hands. If they didn't have that metal angle down, it would have been fine. It was the fact that was in the way that we couldn't get the little clip of the cord in. And we tried so many different things, and I was Googling all this stuff, and a few people actually had the same issue as me, where they didn't realise the dimensions or the clips when they got these fans. So it was good that I wasn't alone, but a few people said they shaved the fan clip down. It was like, oh my god, I'm not doing that. So we did this next extreme thing, I guess. And then some more pretty lighting stuff, because why not? So these are the Strimmer Plus, these are also Leon Lee as well. So the Leon Lee Strimmer Plus V2. So this one's the 24-pin extension. So that is the power to the motherboard. This is the 12-volt high power cable for the 4080 of the new 40 series graphics cards that require it. With the graphics card, it comes with like an uglier sort of cable with 3 or 4 prongs off it, where this one is one solid cable, which is what you want. So if you cable mod, do quite a few. And it just looks so much better, like, as opposed to having all these yucky cords hanging out the top or the side of your GPU. Like, to consolidate it all into one cord is really, really good. And as you can see, it's quite bright. I'll show you obviously close-ups of it, but it's the power to the GPU from the power supply, and then the power supply to the motherboard as well. So there's the two different cables. Like I said, I wanted it to be white, I wanted it to be colourful, and like I was so stoked because when I initially saw those cables, I was like, oh my god, that'd be just... I think that's also what kickstarted me into wanting to build a new computer, because I just saw all these pretty new cords and I'm like, oh my god, I've got to get these. So I need a operating system to use my PC. So I've got the Windows 11 home package. It just comes in like a little USB that you have to plug into your computer when you first boot it up, run through the settings and all that kind of thing. So you obviously need an operating system to run your computer. There's a whole bunch of different ones, like obviously Mac has a Mac one. But for mostly gaming and PC work, I just use Windows all the time. There's probably a lot of issues with Windows, so I've come to learn, but like I use Windows. So I had to get a Windows operating system. So you obviously need something to cool your CPU, and that's where a CPU cooler comes in. So this is the Leon Lee again with the same fans. So it's the Leon Lee G12 Trinity SL Infinity 360. So 360 is the length. So they're 120 fans, 120 mil fans, but there's 3 of them. So it's 360 mils all up. This is really cool. I love it again because it's white and it has the Infinity in there. There's actually 3 different pump headers that come with this CPU cooler. So I've got this one at the moment, which is a Duo Infinity, but it also comes with a sinkhole and a dazzle mode. So it's got like an Infinity without the logo, and then also a pure like dazzling head. So you can change them in and out as you please. I just went with the stock one that was already on there, which is the Duo Infinity with the logo. I just really liked that one. I'll probably change it up every now and again, but they're really handy. The cables on the radiator are actually 45-degree curved, and you can swivel them 360, so it's much more flexible for your build. If you've got, a tight build, a small case, like a really tight way to angle them. And the pièce de résistance itself, the GPU, the powerhouse of the PC that keeps games running awesome at high frame rates, amazing quality, and does all the things I want it to do. This is the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4080, and it's the brand Asus ROG, and it's a ROG Strix, but it's an overclocked version. This graphics card is amazing. Again, it's white. It's got the RGB on the side there. It's just an absolute beast, like $2,200. I mean, like, come on. But it's massive. Like, it's massive. I was so worried it wouldn't fit my PC, but I watched a PC build with it, so I knew it would. In saying that, with this case, if you're going to horizontally mount this GPU, you need to have, I think Cable Mod do it, but it's like an angled clip, which goes, so if you have the GPU horizontal, it's a clip that sort of comes down and goes in, so it sits flush against the case, so you can actually close the case. Because I got a vertical mount separately for my GPU because I liked the way that looked. Yeah, if I tried to mount it horizontally, it wouldn't have fit in the case. So you have to get a little clip, a separate cable that extends the clip, extends the cable, but like makes it flush with the case. So just keep that in mind. Again, I needed a big GPU to do the task that I needed to do. Mine was great, but again, I just needed more. Like that, my old card is an 8GB card. This is a 16GB card, so it's double. I wanted to get the 4090, but I didn't have an extra $1,500. So yeah, that's not going to happen. I couldn't be more happy with it. It's awesome. It plays my games at such high frame rates, and I have all the qualities on ultra, and there's no issues. It's just such a beast of a card. If you're going to get a card, like if you're going to do a high-end build, the 4090 is just extreme. If you can do it, do it. But yeah, the 4080 is just awesome. I absolutely love this card. I love my PC with this card. I love the capabilities of it. The high the high quality of games, like having my graphics cranked up to ultra on 1440p, because I'm not a 4K gamer yet. I don't have a 4K monitor, which I'm happy with. Like, there's nothing wrong with 1440p. It's amazing. And it has ray tracing, and it's also got the new DLSS 3 frame generation, which is a really cool software of NVIDIA's where it'll use artificial intelligence or AI to have your graphics at max settings, but instead of using your processing power to render the frames, it'll use AI to basically render the frames for you. It's just amazing because it doesn't slow down the graphics at all, but boosts your frame rates. I did have quite a few issues starting my PC. I'm still working some out. There's been a lot of complaints with the 14th gen and 13th gen 13 and 14 900K CPUs. They're causing a lot of weird graphical issues. Like, I'll be starting up, it's a lot of heavy shader games, which is very CPU intensive. So Hogwarts Legacy and Horizon Forbidden West, when I start up the game, it crashes sometimes with no error. Sometimes it'll crash and say you ran out of video memory, which is like not accurate because I've got a 4080 16 gigabytes. There is no way I'm running out of video memory. I've got a few troubleshooting things that J2Sense actually put up, so I'm going to try those and see if they fix it. But I was having some sort of weird black screen of death issues. There was also a really weird issue where, so the motherboard has integrated graphics, okay? Or the Intel has integrated graphics. When I was playing a game, when I first started my computer, playing a game, trying to watch YouTube would freeze or stutter and not work. It was mainly on PUBG. I was having issues where it would just freeze, and then I would have to alt tab back in, and it would work again. I actually got onto NVIDIA about this because I'm like, what is going on with my PC? Like, it's such a weird issue. And they said because the 40 series graphics cards, there's a sort of conflict, like it can't handle the integrated graphics of the motherboard of the CPU. It can't handle that. So you have to have one or the other. So you disable the integrated graphics on the motherboard and obviously keep the graphics card as your main source of graphical power. And after I did that, it was fine. I didn't have any stuttering issues with YouTube ever since. So that was a really weird little issue if you guys are ever aware of that. But yeah, guys, that was all for my gaming build. I'm so stoked with it. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much to Cameron for helping me fund the parts. It's my game PC. It's white. It's a beast. It's RGB. It's pretty. I'm having an absolute blast playing all my games at high FPS with amazing graphics and putting out YouTube videos. I couldn't be more stoked. Yes, it was expensive, but it's an investment and I'm so stoked with it.
Leviosa.
Let's see if we can't make our fibrous friends a bit more comfortable, shall we?
First, let's protect our ears.
Now, everyone, grip their mandrake by the tendrils and give it a firm tug. Quickly! Place your mandrake in the new core and cut down the soil! The soil should envelop the root like a warm, dirty blanket, putting the mandrake right at ease. Reparo! I'm very sorry about that. Yours was a bit mature, I'm afraid. All right then, off you go. Splendid work, everyone.
Been a while, boy.
ground game. Eliminate hostiles with each weapon.
So thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed my video and enjoyed my build and making it look all pretty and getting frustrated with it and taking it underground to the case. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it and I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye.